What's good, YouTubers and YouTubettes? This is JBsports, back again with another one. One of the biggest names in combat sports, in one of the hottest divisions in boxing. He has a huge social media following, 8 to 9 million followers. Will step back into the square circle tonight in Crypto.com Arena, the arena formerly known as Staples Center, in front of a huge crowd. I don't know if it'll be a sold-out crowd, but it should be at least 75% capacity, as he's basically fighting in his hometown, Los Angeles, California, IA. He'll be taking on rugged veteran Javier Fortuna. This is the second best opponent on Ryan Garcia's resume, right up under Luke Campbell. So it should be an exciting fight. It should be very, very interesting, and it should be a very intriguing matchup, however long it lasts. So we will see what happens, and we will see what transpires. But this fight is all about Ryan Garcia. This fight is Ryan Garcia's to lose. Ryan Garcia has every physical advantage going into this matchup. He's a guy with the longer reach. He needs to establish the jab, because he might not need the jab to beat Javier Fortuna, but when he steps up in class and takes on the likes of Devin the Dream Haney and Gervonta Tank Davis, he's definitely going to need a jab. So he needs to establish that jab. He needs to control distance, and he needs to show a little bit more versatility in his game. And he also needs to tuck in his chin. That's another problem. That's another Achilles heel in his defense. He leaves himself wide open to counters. When he throws that left hook, which is lethal, he's very vulnerable to overhand rights. He's going to have to clean all that up. Like I said, he might be able to get away with that tonight, but he's not going to be able to get away with that when he steps in there with Gervonta Tank Davis, who he's looking to fight after the victory, after hopefully getting a victory tonight over Javier Fortuna. Javier Fortuna's got to make this fight a grimy fight. He's got to make this fight a fight of nutrition. He's got to make Ryan Garcia uncomfortable. He's got to be in the mindset, I got to win this fight by any means necessary. If I get a couple of points deductive doing some illegal tactics, so be it. I cannot beat Ryan Garcia on the outside. I don't have the speed advantage over Ryan Garcia. He has the reach advantage. He's a more active fighter per round. He's got all the physical advantage, and he's got all the punch output advantage in this particular matchup. So we will see what happens, and we will see what transpires. But I'm looking for Ryan Garcia to get the 7th round stoppage over Javier Fortuna. I think Javier Fortuna will pull up a good fight. He's got a lot of experience. He's been in there with Robert Easter Jr. He's been in there with Adrian Granados. I thought his best performance actually was a performance that was on Fox during the COVID-19. It was a showcase fight for him when he fought Lozado. I thought that probably was his best performance of his career, as he showed not only that he was a good, tough, grimy, physical, borderline dirty fighter, but he was a very talented, skillful, technical fighter at that. He showed that attribute in that fight. But I think that Javier Fortuna is long, long gone. I don't think he's on that level at the age of 33. I think he's seen his better days. I think he's basically on the back nine of his career. I haven't seen that in his last couple of fights. Now, when he fought Jojo Diaz, oh yeah, Jojo actually basically just walked him down, man. In the high guard, walked him down, jabbed him, cut distance, and was able to work the body and basically punish Javier Fortuna. Javier Fortuna cannot let that happen with Ryan Garcia. Ryan Garcia going to be looking to put the pressure on him too. Basically do some of the same thing Jojo did, but do it at a more electrifying and faster pace. So Javier Fortuna is definitely going to have to let his hands go. He's definitely going to have to get inside. He's definitely going to have to try to back Ryan Garcia up. If he's fighting off the back foot and he's got basically letting Ryan dictate terms in the ring, it's going to be a long night for Javier Fortuna. It might not be a long night. It might be a long, short night for Javier Fortuna, because I don't see him seeing the final bell of round 12. So we will see what happens, and we will see what transpires. It's a very, very intriguing matchup. Like I said, this is the second best opponent on Ryan Garcia's resume, right behind Luke Campbell. And a lot of people like to shit on Ryan Garcia's resume, but his resume was trash up to his last 5 fights. You look at who he fought in his last 5 fights. He fought Romero Dunn, Francisco Fonseca, Luke Campbell, Emmanuel Tago. So this is his 5th straight quality opponent. So you got to give credit where credit's due, man. His resume is right up there with the Tank Davis and Devin Haney and You know, all the top names at 135 pounds. You can match his resume up with all those guys. And if it's very debatable that his resume is actually better than a Gervonta Tank Davis and even a Devin Haney. But Devin Haney has the one opponent that's head shoulders above Gervonta Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia. That is former undisputed lightweight champion George Kambosos. So we will see what happens, and we will see what transpires. Now, after this fight, he's going to be looking to set a stage for a fight between himself and Tank Davis. That's a mega fight. There's a lot of political divisions in the sport of boxing that have prevented fights of this magnitude from transpiring, and this could be a classic example of that happening. As you got Oscar De La Hoya, who's always out here talking bad about Al Haymon, a guy that only want to do in-house fights. You're already talking about there's going to be a fight that's hard to make, that he'd rather deal with Floyd Mayweather Jr., but Floyd Mayweather Jr. is not an active participant in the day-to-day operations of the PBC. So I think you're going to have to deal with Al Haymon or Tom Brown or Leonard Illerby before you start talking about Floyd Mayweather Jr. So hopefully that fight comes to fruition. That's one of the biggest fights to be made in the sport of boxing, but I have my doubts that it actually comes to fruition. De La Hoya has thrown out the month of November for that fight to happen, but that's the month that they're looking to set up Errol Spence Jr. and Terrence Crawford. From what I'm hearing, Gervonta Tank Davis is looking to come back in December. So, but De La Hoya will already be throwing the month of November out there. You know, that's letting you know that they already got that lined up for Ryan Garcia. Most likely against Jojo Diaz. Ooh, yeah. So we will see what happens, and we will see what transpires. Let me know your thoughts about this particular matchup, Ryan Garcia and Javier Fortuna. Who you like? Follow me on Facebook, Gerard.Briscoe.3551. Follow me on Instagram, 9707 Gerard. Like, share, and subscribe to JB Sports. The man, the myth, the legend. And I holla.